Hi everybody. In Module 3, we discussed this idea of structure and sequence in curriculum design. Think of this module as the application of our alignment topic that we explored last week. Once there is sufficient curricular and program alignment, what is the next step and how should designers create a roadmap ahead for learners? Our text discusses the concept of the ideal in curriculum design, where designers should start with thinking about the flow of how the learning takes place. It makes sense to sequentially build upon topics in order to get an end goal, the objective, the outcome, and the elements to get to that point are going to be based on the subject or topic at hand. But one principle to keep in mind is setting high expectations early and communicating them accordingly. Think back to our first module on being learner-centric. Communicating expectations and road ahead are always good practices to integrate into any course or program sequence. As the learning elements get added, things like feedback, faculty contact, collaboration, and active learning are all very important. In movie making, there's a concept which is called storyboarding, which is basically the idea of graphically organizing elements of a film to create the sequences of events that lead to the conclusion. Perhaps you've seen clips of the early movie makers looking at a wall of each of these animated cells and then moving them around in discussion. Interestingly, all modern movie editing applications use the exact same idea, this moving around different ideas, concepts back and forth. This is the same with curriculum design and thinking about arranging the learning. I've actually used this principle many times in course design. Once the overall learning goals have been decided on, the actual learning elements or topics are each written down on a sticky note, and sequencing is just a matter of arranging the notes so that the order makes sense. For me, it's easier to see all this visually. Whatever way you choose to arrange or sequence, it's up to you. But the point is that curriculum sequencing ultimately is an iterative process, meaning that it warrants constant refinement and updating. Asking key questions along the way, which the text outlines several of them, it's critical. These questions are things like, what is the end goal? How much time should you expect students to spend on this idea? What resources are needed both from an instructional perspective and a student point of view? What about the way in which the learning is offered? Online, in class, or a combination of both? In the end, structure and sequence, given good alignment, leads the curriculum and program designer into asking good questions. And it's in asking and answering these questions that lead to a good class, a good program, and finally, a good experience for the learners. Next week, we'll focus on the topic of learning outcomes and how we craft those to ensure that learning meets the overall goals for the class or program. We'll prepare for the first assignment, which will be due at the end of the week, on analyzing program outcomes. I'll talk about that more in the introductory announcement to the next chapter, but for now, and as we have done, continue any additional discussion through the weekend, and I will see you all online